I have witnessed the pinnacle of all human existence, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. As soon as I got home, I came here to my desk to report back to all of you my thoughts. Actually, I did have one chicken tender, but I didn't even warm it up. I just took it right out of the fridge. That's how dedicated I am. All jokes aside, here is my spoiler-free review of Sonic the Hedgehog 3. A few things before we start. While this will be free of major spoilers, I will be talking a little bit about the story, but in a very basic way. But if you still want to go in completely blind, wait until you watch the movie. And also, this isn't going to be as heavily edited as some of my other videos, because I wasn't joking. I am recording this right as I got home from watching the movie. And I'd like to get the video up as soon as possible to get my thoughts out. And I'm also exhausted. With that out of the way, let's get into it. So, the story is very largely based on Sonic Adventure 2. And unless you're new around here, you know that's my favorite game of all time. The story goes, Shadow wakes up after 50 years of being asleep and starts causing havoc. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles are called in to help and to capture him. And seeing that they're a little outmatched, they need to get help from Dr. Eggman. More stuff happens. Eggman teams up with his grandfather, Gerald Robotnik, and all three of them aim to take over the world. From all the trailers, we already knew that. There's a little bit of details that I'm leaving out, but that's pretty much the story. First thing I'll talk about is the visuals. This is definitely by far the best looking Sonic movie so far. That shouldn't come as a shock, seeing as the budget just keeps getting bigger, but it's definitely worth mentioning. But the shots and the scenery as well, especially in the third act, it is gorgeous. Next, we'll talk about the writing. Something that's been going around on Twitter a lot is how much a lot of people really hate the jokes that Sonic makes. And while yes, throughout the movies he's said some pretty cringy jokes, internet meme kind of things, I really don't think it was that bad. To me, this one was probably the least distracting those jokes were. The bigger complaint about the writing that I have isn't necessarily about how it's written, but the pacing of the story overall. If you know Shadow's backstory, you know there's a lot to take in. And that's just his backstory, and that's a lot to put into a less than 2-hour runtime. So while it was kind of nice that it felt like you were getting right into the movie, a lot of times some things just felt like it wasn't enough. It definitely didn't really feel like they skipped anything, but a lot of the more important parts of the story felt like they needed maybe a few more minutes to expand on them. The story overall does ironically feel kind of fast, but that's not to say it's bad at all. As somebody who holds Sonic Adventure 2 as one of the grand achievements of all time, I really like how they handled it. I know you have to take artistic liberties with movies, and obviously they don't want to just copy and paste the game's story completely, but I think they handled it pretty well. Like I've said already, the story is really good, and there are some awesome moments throughout the whole thing, especially during the climax. But honestly, I hate to say it, I think I was expecting a lot more. I'm not disappointed with the movie whatsoever. I loved it. I think I went in with higher expectations, like getting a Lord of the Rings type adaptation, which honestly might not even work for a Sonic movie. I do really think the movie could have benefited from an extra 30 minutes just to expand on little important bits here and there. But overall, I love it. Absolutely love it. If you're a fan of the other two movies, you're gonna love this one too. And if you're a Sonic Adventure 2 fan, you're also gonna really love this movie. Man, that last 30 minutes. Whew, goodness. I'm actually seeing it again tomorrow with another friend, and I'm really excited to try and pick out things that I may have missed this time. It's really hard talking about this movie without talking about everything in the movie, especially the last bits, which I will say I was actually spoiled on the very last things, and it was still surprising. If you guys want me to do a full review, spoilers and all, let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on The Z-Man Show.